Turning spokes in new clothes.
You know, for me, growing up in Fort Worth, Texas, right, I got a chance to see a lot of great things. Being a young 10-year-old, I loved Emmitt Smith, and then my father and my grandfather would teach me about blocking, right? And that was number 48. And out of all the jerseys that I would get, I got that number 48 jersey. And guess what? Years later, I get to talk to this guy, Daryl Johnston. How you doing, sir?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Great, great, great. So right now, man, just tell everybody what you're involved in, because you're involved in something very special.
Yeah, the UFL is that spring football platform that everybody's trying to crack the code on for a number of years now, and I think we finally did it.
Yes.
We've got great partners with us that are behind the scenes. We've got Fox, we've got Redbird Capital, we got Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia amplifying everything that we're doing as minority owners. We got some great football people.
Yes.
And with the USFL is running spring football, and the XFL is running spring football, and we're going to stand toe-to-toe, and it's going to be a last man standing, and we're going to waste a lot of time and energy to get down to one. So the powers that be are smarter than us, and they come together and propose a merger, and it's not a 1 + 1 = 2, it's a 1 + 1 = 4.
Okay.
And we just got stronger. We've got great people around us. The football was outstanding last year.
Yes.
That's the most important thing to take care of. This year we're working on the business side. That's coming together the way that Russ Brandon would like it to function. So, we're getting ready to walk into season 2 of the UFL, just having announced a new headquarter in Arlington. It's 110,000 square feet. The guys, the agents, NFL coaches that want to become a part of our league are now calling us. So we've taken the doubt away from several years ago and created trust and belief in what we're doing, and that's been a hell of a journey.
I love it. I love it. It seems like with the UFL, it seems like there are football people involved. To your point about the business, that's something that is now going to be the thing that you focus on more. But it just seems like you have football people. Everybody seems to understand the game of football. I got to ask you this, man, just for you, though. Rewind. Going back to young Daryl Johnson, just growing up, who were some of your favorite football players?
Oh, there's one. Larry Zonka.
There we go.
Syracuse guy, Miami Dolphins. The fullback position back then in the 70s was very different than it is now.
Yes.
But I always kind of gravitated towards that physical style. John Riggins was another one that I really liked.
Yes.
But those are just the old school big style running backs. When you get into the selfless fullback position, the Matt Sueys, the Jim Braxtons.
Yes.
Some of those guys come in now, late 70s, early 80s, and it's really kind of that power football game with a dynamic tailback and then a big physical fullback in front of them. And then for me, one of the big game changers was Tom Rathman.
Yes.
Because then Tom brings a little bit of that athleticism and pass catching. And I always, because we grew up playing in the backyard, and everybody would ask me, well, where did you learn how to catch the football? Oh, in the backyard. With my friends. And so I was always really confident in my hands. And it was kind of funny. I didn't catch a lot of passes at Syracuse because we were more option-based and we were throwing to the outside and the running backs weren't really involved in it all that much. But when I got to Dallas and people started to say, you can actually catch the ball well out of the backfield, I'm like, yeah. I said, let's roll with that. That's one of the things. And that was kind of modeled after the way that Tom did it, because I think Tom had a 92-catch season one year.
Yeah, Tom Rathman was unreal. Yeah. So I talked to Lorenzo Neal, right?
Oh.
One of the better fullbacks. And I always do this to everybody. I make them on the spot do a Mount Rushmore for their position. You got mentioned, right? So for you as a fullback, if I came to you and said, I don't know anything about the fullback position, but if I had a mountaintop with 4 faces of the fullbacks, who would be the 4 faces on the Mount Rushmore for you?
I think the big thing would be how are we classifying the position? Is it going to be kind of more of my role, the Braxton role, the Suey role? Is it going to be kind of a Rathman?
Yeah.
Juszczyk is very different today.
Yes.
Lowe is the great thing about Lorenzo is it's such a physical position.
He's compact.
To play that position for 16 years at the level that Lorenzo played that position is unbelievable. So I would have Lorenzo. Larry's a fullback, but he's a running fullback. You're talking 1,000-yard rusher, so that. But I got to put Larry there.
Larry's on for sure.
I think you have to go Matt Suey because he had Walter Payton.
I think we got to go Daryl Johnston too, man. I mean, look.
Well, I can't nominate myself.
Okay.
In the modern day, for me, I love what Kyle Juszczyk is doing because he's bringing the fullback position back because he's showing that it's not just a one-trick pony. That if you have a guy that can study the play and break formation and do different things, and that was one of the things that I was able to do. I could get out in the slot, I could go out wide, I could keep standard personnel,
yes,
which is 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers on the field and 1 tight end. I could keep that personnel group on the field with matchups, and one of the things that Kyle does is he allows that. There's a lot of play designs around, but I like Patrick Ricard. He's a converted guy, but I think that there's so much athleticism in that big body. So the ability to be a great lead blocker, but I've seen him have some incredibly explosive plays.
Love it. Last question for me, man. So obviously you have a history with the Dallas Cowboys that speaks, volumes. Brian ShottenHeimer was named their coach, right?
Yeah.
For you, just when you heard the news, what was your initial reaction? And just, it has to get right eventually, right?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people that were expecting something bigger. I think that really there's confusion with the announcement.
Yes.
If we were going to stay status quo, why did we let Mike McCarthy walk away? Why would we do an in-house hire and elevate Brian ShottenHeimer when we had Mike McCarthy here? If we didn't want to change,
yes,
if we're just going to stay the same and see what we do next year in this system, I think that's where the confusion kind of sets in. So I like Brian ShottenHeimer as a man. I know him probably personally better than professionally. But Marty Schottenheimer is one of my favorite guys. You're talking about a guy who kind of grew up under that as a mentor, a dad, and a teacher. He's always been involved with the run game, which is important because that's coming back. I've liked some of the hires that he's already brought in to Dallas right now. So I don't want to say disappointment. I want to say confusion when the hire happened. And now I'm excited to see what Brian does with this opportunity because at some point, it's everybody's first opportunity to sit in that chair. So I think the big thing for the press conference was this is a risk. It's not a risk.
No.
If it's a risk, then it's a risk for Chicago to put Ben Johnson there.
Yep.
It's a risk for the Jacksonville Jaguars to put Liam Cohen there.
Just get Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, it's a risk. Exactly. At some point, and the organization probably made the riskiest hire that proved out to be the best hire when they brought in Jimmy Johnson from the college game and made him a head coach. I mean, they got criticized all across the NFL landscape for bringing a college coach into the NFL. And that was the best decision that the organization's made.
I love it. Well, Moose, thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait till this season comes up, man. I will be seeing you again. Appreciate you, brother.
You got it. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
100 spokes, new clothes.